Quite a contrast. We have the first reading from the book of Genesis. God's grace and blessing. This is for you. And yet the human heart gets involved. The human heart, in the story certainly of creation, the human heart says, let's be like God. Let's listen to a different voice. Let's see if we can also be the same. And of course, the voices in our own day. Let's put down God. Who is God? What is God? We can't see, interact, etc., etc. Therefore, I guess it's not that important to recognize God. Human tradition beginning with a small t and in quotes. One that does not recognize something greater than ourselves. And truly, it's a downfall for each of us. When we fail to recognize that God is there, we ourselves become God-like. Small g, in quotes, and not in a very positive way. We make our own agendas in life. We try and put people in their places if they disagree with us. The sad part in the Christian community, whether you're a Christian who identifies as Catholic, a Christian who identifies as Baptist, a Christian who identifies as Lutheran, a Christian who identifies as Methodist, etc., 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 we bottom line are all Christians. So start finding the common ground. Because we are greatly challenged in this day and age in the 21st century. No longer can we be divided or separated. We are God's people, not our own people. And if it takes a lot of dying to self and living for Christ, then that is what it takes. Jesus is very clear in the gospel to the scribes and the Pharisees. Could have been anyone. It could have been the preacher and the president, the secretary and the senator. The gospel applies to all of us today. Honor God, remember God. Don't put God aside for your own agendas, your own purpose. If you are a Christian, if you say you follow God in any way, shape, or form, then do it. Then do it. Don't banter it about. Don't think it to death. Don't say, oh, I like this, oh, I don't like that. Let's put that aside. You either follow God or you don't. It's real simple. There is no overthinking about it. But do it as Christ would have it done. Do it as God would have it done for the good of all of creation, for the good of all people. Own up. If you're not going to be Christian 100%, then say, you know what, I'm a partial Christian. And start defining that and see how far that gets. Be honest in faith. Be honest with God and honestly listen to what God is asking of us. It's a great challenge. Jesus obviously is not happy with the scribes and the Pharisees. And he continues to speak as much as they would silence him because they don't want to hear it. He continues to speak. They continue to plot against him. And yet he continues to speak. Because he does the will of God the Father and not the will of anyone else. Not even his own will. In the Garden of Gethsemane, not my will, Father, but your will be done. Any one of us who bears the name Christian, who dares to bear the name Christian, must challenge ourselves. We must challenge ourselves constantly and every day. Allow God to be God for the life of his people, all of his people, equally just, fair, across the board, whether it's within a family, within a country, within a nation, within a world. Be who you say you are. Don't use Christianity as a smokescreen. Don't use Christianity as sheep's clothing and have a wolf's agenda. If you are Christian, then be Christian. It's that simple. There is no overthinking it. There is no argumentation. You either are or you're not. If you read the scriptures, you're either for me or against me, hot or cold. If you waffle and you waver, well, greater judgment is waiting. The challenge of the human heart is always going to be a challenge. And things won't happen overnight. Because if they happen instantly, they will not last. They're just for show. The human heart must struggle to become the divine heart. The human heart must struggle to be the divine in all instances. In word, in action, in all instances, the human heart must struggle to become the divine. The divine that is Christ, the divine that is God the Father, the divine that will continue to shape, heal, and fashion the world for the better. If we cannot do that, then perhaps we need to rethink our stance in life, but be honest, people, where we stand. We stand with Christ or against him. There is no back and forth. It's a great challenge to believe. It always has been and always will be. The greater challenge is to live the belief we have.